The grid view in Lightroom's library module serves as a virtual light box, enabling you to quickly scan through and manage your images. This video will show you all the ways you can put the grid view to use to streamline your workflow. So right now we're in the library module and we're in the grid view. But how do you get to the grid view if you're not in the grid view? Let me hit the space bar, and now we're in the loop view. If I want to get to the grid view, there's a couple ways to go. The simplest way to describe is down here in the toolbar, there's this grid icon. Simply select that and you're now taken to the grid view. I'm going to hit the space bar and go to the loop view again and show you that it's probably even easier just simply to hit the G key. Now the beautiful thing about the G key is that, let's say we're over here in the develop module and we want to get quickly back over to the grid view in the library module. If I hit the G key now, G for grid, we're back into the grid view in the library module that quick. Okay, so how do we control the size of these thumbnails? Down here on the right in the toolbar, you can see the thumbnail slider. If I click and drag that to the right, I can increase the size of the thumbnails, and if I click and drag it to the left, I decrease the size. Now what happens if this isn't showing up in your version of Lightroom? It's probably because over here, if you click on this triangle, down at the very bottom, thumbnail size is not selected. This is how you choose what appears in the toolbar. So how do you control the order in which these thumbnails appear in the preview area? That's done here to the left of thumbnails under sort. And you can see we have all kinds of options here for sorting, all the way from capture time down to even aspect ratio. And if you want to reverse the sort, you just select on this A to Z icon here. Now what happens if I click on a thumbnail and try to move it to another location manually? I'll do that right now. I'll click and drag. Whoops, see, Lightroom is not letting me do it. The currently selected source does not support custom order. Okay, well, what's happening here? Because I certainly want to be able to move these around manually. Well, the problem is we're over here in the catalog panel under all photographs. I can go into the folders panel, which I'm going to do right now. And now I'm in the folders view. Now watch the thumbnail now. I can click and drag and place it anywhere I want. That is supporting custom order. Now the same holds true if you're down here in a collection, which I'll do now. I'll go to a collection and click and drag and move the image to another location. Now notice where my cursor is when I'm doing this. I'm not clicking on the edge. I'm clicking right on the image itself. And then I know that it's going to move by the black insertion bar that appears. If I click on an edge and try to drag, I won't be able to move that thumbnail. Okay, by now you probably have noticed that there's a lot of information associated with the thumbnail all around the edges. There's the dimensions of the picture, the file name, the ratings. I can even rotate the image directly from the thumbnail. But the question is, you may be looking at something that looks quite different, and that's because you can control what appears on these thumbnails. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go under View, and then I'm going to go under View Options. As you can see here under the Library View Options, we have a lot of options to select from. Now under Show Grid Extras, we can start by selecting either an expanded cell, which we have selected now, or a compact cell. And you can see now we have less room and therefore less information is displayed. I'm going to go ahead and stay with the expanded cell here. Under our options, the first option, show clickable items on mouse over only. That's selected by default. And how that works is, let me show you. I'm going to have to go out of the library view options for a second. With that selected, watch my cursor as it comes over the thumbnail. You see how items appear? All these items are clickable. In other words, they do something. I'm going to go ahead and show you how the rotate works again. And here, if I want to add a flag to my image, or here if I want to check the metadata status. So they only will appear when my mouse appears over the thumbnail. Let me go back to View, View Options. If I deselect that, they will always be on. So it's just another way of decluttering your thumbnail by keeping this selected. So the next option, tint grid cells with label colors. So if you have this selected and you select a thumbnail, let me give it a color rating. Let's give it red. Now the color red will appear around the edge here. And let's go back under View Options here. And if we deselect that, obviously now we don't have the red appearing. So Show Image Info Tooltips, that just means that if you have this selected, when you hold your cursor over a thumbnail, it will give the information that is not showing up on the thumbnail itself. Cell icons. So here, if you want the flags to show, or the thumbnail badges, or the unsaved metadata, or the quick collection markers to show up, you just keep these selected. And as far as the compact cell extras go, you can customize that by having the index number, rotation controls, top label, and you have various options here to display on the top label, bottom label, etc. Now, this is just for the compact cell extras. And for expanded cell extras, again, if you want to show the header with labels, you select that, and then you can choose various options here. And down here, the Show Rating footer will, if you want, include the rotation buttons. I just leave these all pretty much on default because I just find that information very useful. And I especially like to be able to click on the items in the thumbnail and have them actually do something. For example, the rotation buttons, and also to be able to give like star ratings right from the thumbnails themselves. It's very, very useful. If you want a simple way to cycle between the compact view and the expanded view, simply hit the J key. And you can see now we're cycling back and forth. The grid view in Lightroom's library module is really easy to use. And now you've learned how easy it is to customize it.